Okay, so right now, Spirit is putting its emphasis on seeing things through a different lens. That came out briefly in a couple of the past readings. But today it feels like the whole reading is revolving around this. And I feel like it's from the perspective of like, because when I was shuffling, I had my eyes closed so that I could kind of hone in on the energy. And Spirit told me to open my eyes so that I could see how the cards fall. Open your eyes so you can see how the cards fall. And I'm like, okay. And then these are the cards I used while I was shuffling. I was seeing this as an eye. So um, we got today. I'm using my Spirit Animal Wisdom deck, and we got Otter and Antelope, Initiation and New Pathways. Okay, so that's the overarching energy, but it came out in reverse. Okay, and I feel like it came out in reverse because it kind of ties into the message of opening your eyes and seeing things from a different perspective. Because I feel like what's happening is that because we are in new territory and basically feeling uncomfortable, we are telling ourselves what we think is happening, which is more than likely based off of past experiences. But Spirit wants you to stop telling yourself what you think is happening and pay attention to what's actually happening. I feel like right now our energy and our thoughts are manifesting at like a very rapid level, and I feel like because of that, it's important. The things that we're telling ourselves right now in this moment is extremely important. And like I said, I feel like because we don't know what's happening, we pull from what's familiar. We pull from the experiences that we've already been through. Like, okay, things are getting uncomfortable. XYZ must be happening. And Spirit is like, no, that's not what's going on here. And really, you kind of fucking up the process by telling yourself or putting that energy out there. Okay, because at the bottom of the deck, we had Golden Unicorn Ascension. That's what's really happening. You're ascending. You're reaching new height, aka them new pathways. So it's kind of like you gotta. I was gonna say take a step back, but I feel like that's not what Spirit wants because under that we had stepping into your power. So I feel like the whole point is for you to because basically what's happening is your brain is on autopilot and your nervous system is on autopilot, which is why I keep circling back to the fact that it's pulling on past experiences. But this is a new experience, okay? But our nervous system is reacting in the same way. So I feel like stepping into your power right now is going to look like allowing things to unfold the way that they are supposed to unfold without jumping in and creating this false narrative around your current experiences. So I know that this is going to sound redundant, but at this point in your journey, if you resonate with this message, then you're on a timeline where you know the power of thought, of manifestation, of your words, and of prayer. And I feel like as simple as it sounds and as redundant as it sounds, it's so important right now to keep your thoughts uplifted, to keep your thoughts positive, because that's what that I feel like it's going to play a part in helping this new timeline come forward. And I also feel like it's going to help your nervous system to adjust. If you are telling your nervous system, if you don't reassure your nervous system, it's going to keep coming up with, again, what it's familiar with. Like it just keeps going back to that. Your nervous system, you feel what you feel right now because, yes, because your environment is changing, but we have to regulate our nervous systems to now accept change and to realize that change doesn't always have to be quote unquote bad, right? So we've already gone through the hardships. So these changes that are occurring now are for the better. It's not because even before it wasn't for the worse, it was just for growth. But you've learned those lessons already. You see what I'm saying? That's not to say it's not more lessons to learn, okay? But what I'm feeling right now is that Spirit is trying to usher in something that is going to be beneficial for you. But it's kind of like having to fight against your nervous system. Spirit is like, it's kind of like what they're showing me is like a feral dog. Like when you try to feed a dog off the street, and not to say that you a dog off the street, okay? But your nervous system has been through a lot, like a stray, okay? I don't know, but it's showing me what they're showing me is like when you try to feed a stray dog and it basically tries to attack you, and you got to be patient and you got to kind of give it room and you got to give it space and you got to just keep trying until it trusts you. That is your nervous system right now. That's your nervous system right now. Your nervous system needs your support in making these adjustments because this is the divine trying to give you something, give you sustenance, give you what you need, give you abundance, and your nervous system is just like, nah, fuck it. I've been through enough. I don't want to trust nothing else. I don't even want to try to trust. Just leave me where I'm at, okay? And Spirit's like, no, you didn't go through all that to be left where you at, you know. So, um, they're also telling me or showing me how, like, in most of them stories you see where, like, the dogs get rescued off the street, they end up with the best owners with an abundance, overflow of food and love and kisses and hugs, and they get their own little fluffy bed and they get a big backyard to run around in. It's giving that kind of rags to riches type of story. So I guess if you've, so they're bringing it full circle now. Like if you've been wondering like what the fuck is going on right now, like what's happening, that's kind of what's happening. That's not kind of, but that's essentially what's happening. You're making that transition from the racks to the riches. We just didn't know that it would take so much adjusting for our nervous system. We didn't know. And so now that you can identify that that's what's happening, that you are safe, and that you are in a new space, you can make a conscious decision, aka stepping into your power. Spirit needs you to be conscious about regulating your nervous system, and that has been coming out for a couple weeks now. But now it's coming to a head, and more than likely it's coming to a head because this is probably the most uncomfortable part. But at least now you know what you have to look forward to, so that you can trust, so that you can make those necessary adjustments.